Hey everyone, and welcome back to episode 28 of my Create Mod series. Now today I'm going to go over on how to make an automated chocolate glazed berry farm inside of the Create Mod. If you enjoy this video, feel free to like and subscribe, as I will be making videos on how to automate all of the new food sources, as well as I will be covering all of the new possible machines inside of Create Mod 0.3.1. But anyways, let's jump straight into this video. So if you've watched my chocolate factory video that released just a couple of days ago, this is going to be very similar. We're just going to have to do some modifications to it because this is a new Create Mod version. But if you already have that up and running, it's going to be easy to convert this into the chocolate berries that we're going to be doing. So all of the items that you're going to need are inside of this chest right here. Now, there's a lot. So I'm going to list all of these inside of the description, so you don't have to worry about squinting and looking at my screen. You can look at them all there. One quick thing I want to go over is there's some certain things in here you might not necessarily need. One of those being is I have 4 water buckets here. You don't necessarily need 4 water buckets. You just need 4 water sources for our water wheels. As well as we have a pickaxe, we have a wrench. The wrench you're going to need, the pickaxe, just something to break blocks with if you misplace. The coal, that's going to be the only thing that I'm not going to show you on how to auto-generate. But that's just going to need to be a fuel source. It's going to keep our blaze burner alive. So you could use anything, wood, coal. You could even make a charcoal farm if you really would like to. Other than that, we have our sugarcane, our sweet berries, and our cocoa beans. Those are all things that we're going to need. And we have a couple other odds and ends in here. Now, before we start building, I want to go over on how in the world we're making chocolate glazed berries. And I want you to bear with me. If you get confused, it's going to be totally fine. I just want to show you on how this all works. So a chocolate glazed berry is when you take chocolate and you take sweet berries and you fill it with a spout. So the chocolate's going to be shot onto the sweet berries that are on top of a depot. Now, to get chocolate is either with a chocolate bucket inside of an item drain or with a mixer, which is sugar, cocoa beans, and milk. So if you have seen our chocolate factory video, this is what we've done prior of making a sugarcane farm, a cocoa bean farm, and then pulling milk auto-generated from a cow. And then that's all going to be combined with a heated blaze burner to make chocolate. So let's go ahead and grab our items and we can get started building. So to start out by building, we're going to work on our cocoa bean farm first. Now, there's a ton of stuff that has been built already. Don't panic. All of this you can build along as I get to a certain stage. This is just so I can do this all by memory because there's a lot of things that I have to do. So this is more to help me out, but I'll explain everything as we get to a certain stage. So the very first thing we're going to work on is a cocoa bean farm. Now, this is going to be a very unique one that I'm going to build. Definitely not the most efficient, but we don't really need efficiency because we're going to be converting it into other things. But all I have done here is taken jungle logs, and I've built a 5 block, 5 block, 5 block, 5 block sides, and then 1 block in between, and did 3, 3, 3. And then on this side, I've left it over towards the right. So this is not perfectly centered, and you'll kind of see why I'm doing that in a moment. So now that we've done that, our first step is we're going to grab our cocoa beans and we're going to go ahead and place all of these guys down on the sides of our jungle logs. All right, so I've placed down all of our cocoa beans. So our next thing is we're going to build basically a harvester that's going to go around in a circle and harvest all of these cocoa beans for us. So what we're going to do is if I hop down, we can see our jungle logs are 3 blocks off of the ground that we're currently on, and we're going to dig 1 hole right into the center of all of these jungle logs. Once we do that, we're going to go ahead and grab a magma block. We're going to place him down into the ground. We're going to grab an encased fan. We're going to place him, and it's going to definitely place incorrectly. We want to rotate it so that the arrow is facing downward, and you can see the gearbox part is on top. And then once we do that, we're going to grab our mechanical bearing. We're going to place that guy on top like so. We're also going to grab a lever, and we're going to flick this guy. And if you're running HWYLA or the one probe, you'll see it says the power level is now being outputted. That means that we're actually generating power as almost like a generator and putting it into the mechanical bearing so we can make our machine move, because that sail trick that I've used in the past no longer works. So we have to build a different system. Now that we've done that, we're going to place a radial chassis right on top. We're also going to go ahead and grab our regular chassis. All right, so I grabbed our regular linear chassis and I've grabbed a slime ball. I've also slimed the one side of the radial chassis, and I broke a couple of logs. We're actually going to break some of these cocoa beans as well, just to make it a little easier for building. So what we're going to do is we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4 linear chassis, like so. We're also going to go ahead and slime one side. So let's go ahead and slime 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. we're going to grab our harvesters. Let's just throw our cocoa beans on the ground for now. Sorry, there's so much stuff in my inventory. There we go. So we're going to grab our mechanical harvesters, and we're going to go ahead and place 4 on one side. On the other side, we're also going to slime, just like so. We're going to grab a portable storage interface, if I can find those in my inventory, just right there. And we're going to place him so that he is facing outwards towards the jungle log. Now that we've done that, we're also going to grab some chests. So we'll go ahead and pick that up, just like so. And we can go ahead and place 2 of them down, just like that. Now, just to be safe, we're also going to grab our wrench that we have, and we're going to head up on top. And the very first thing that we are going to do is we're going to look at the radial chassis, and we're going to scroll him down so that it's only connected to 3. Now, or excuse me, connected to 4. So that will now connect out all of these radial chassis and go to here. And you might have noticed we've run into some other issues. So we're going to look at these linear chassis, and we're going to scroll these guys down all the way until they're at 1. Now, as you can see, some of these I've accidentally scrolled as I was creating them. So this one's set at 2. So we're also going to set that at 1 and keep all of these at 1. So now when you look at this radial chassis, you can also see we've run into an issue. It's auto connecting to this jungle log. So let's go ahead and break him. And if we look at this radial chassis, you can now see that it is only connecting to what we want it to connect to. So we'll go ahead and now right click with an empty hand on this mechanical bearing, and our machine will begin to move. And basically, our next step is now to just fix our logs that we've broken. We'll grab these jungle logs. We'll place down these guys like so. And we can even pick up our cocoa beans and replace these guys as well. There we go. So you can see that now we have our mechanical harvesters moving around in a circle. It's harvesting all of our cocoa beans and placing them into the chest. So now we need a way of outputting these guys. And as you saw, we put our portable storage interface onto this machine. So you can see that when it gets over into this area, at this block, it lines up perfectly. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop down. We're going to grab our portable storage interface right here. We're going to go ahead and place him, and we're going to wrench him until he is facing towards the other portable storage interface so that they'll actually interact. Now make sure that there is a jungle log in between, or it's not going to actually interact correctly. Now that we've done that, we're going to grab a chute. We're going to place him below, just like so. We're going to right click on the chute just to make it see-through. It'll help us a little bit with debugging, just in case we run into any issues. And we're going to grab some shafts, and we're going to grab some belts, like so. We're going to place 1 shaft, and we're going to go over 1, 2, 3 blocks, place down another shaft, and connect a belt just like that. Also, I just grabbed a bunch of cocoa beans. You can now toss these onto this belt if you need to. All right, now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and set up our very first part, because we now have a cocoa bean farm that will be placed onto the belt, and once it's powered up, it's going to go ahead and be thrown into this little hole over here. So what we need to do is we have our mechanical belt. We're going to go diagonal down 1 block, and we're going to place our blaze burner down here. Now, our blaze burner is not lit. That's something that we're going to cover more towards the end of this video, so don't worry that there are blocks around here. They don't need to be glass. That's just so you guys will be able to see it as we get later into this episode. Now that we've done that, we're going to grab a basin, and we're going to place that on top just like so, and we're also going to grab our mixer, if I can find it. There we go. Place our mixer right on top, just like that. So now we have our cocoa beans that are going to go to the basin, fall into the basin, and then we now just need our other ingredients to continue the recipe. So something that we can quickly do before we forget is that we have our blaze burner right here, but we can also now set up our deployer that's going to auto place coal or place any kind of source to keep our blaze burner lit. So we're going to grab our deployer, and we're going to go ahead and place him, and we might have to wrench him into place a bit. But we want to wrench him so that he is pointing towards the blaze burner, and we want to make sure that he has his power out on the sides. Now, we're not going to power him up just yet, but something we're going to do is we're just going to break these blocks just like so. We're going to place down 2 shafts, if I can place them correctly. We're going to grab... wow, this one's going to be a pain. We're going to grab a belt, and we're going to belt this thing together. We're going to grab some andesite funnels, and we're going to place 1 onto the deployer, place another onto the chest, and now basically all we have to do is, not do that, is throw our coal into this chest, and then the coal will auto go through the mechanical belt and right into the deployer over here. Now, of course, this is not powered up. That's something we'll take care of towards the end of this video. All right, so now we have our cocoa bean farm set up. So we're going to go ahead and work on our sugar or our sugarcane farm now. So we're going to go to the other side of the basin right here. We're going to grab a shaft. We're also going to grab a belt. We're going to place down one shaft, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks out. Place down another shaft just like so. And now we're going to go ahead and connect our belt just like that. Now that we've done that, we're going to go ahead and grab a millstone. And we're going to place a millstone right onto our mechanical belt. We can now go up. We're going to grab a chute, place a chute on top of that, and grab a portable storage interface and place him on top of that as well. And we might as well turn this guy right into transparent. So basically, we're going to have a sugarcane farm, output sugarcane into the portable storage interface. It's going to fall through the chute, get grinded into sugar, and then fall onto the belt and continue to move. One thing that I just completely forgot to do is we need to grab an andesite funnel and place him onto the millstone so it does output it. Now that we've done that, we might as well set up a sugarcane farm. Just like the cocoa bean farm, you could use any type of cocoa bean or sugarcane farm. This is just a layout that I'm going to do. So you can see that we have water sources, we have a bunch of sand. You can copy this design or any other design, just it needs to output sugarcane. So what we're going to do is from the top level, we're going to go ahead and place down a magma block. We're going to grab an encased fan and place him on top. We're going to grab a mechanical bearing, place him on top of that one. Grab a radial chassis, if I can actually select it, place him there. We'll grab a slime ball and slime it, and then we'll grab our regular linear chassis. There you go, our regular linear chassis. Place down 1, 2, and 3. We're going to go ahead and slime one side, so let's go to the other side. We're going to place harvesters on this guy, like so. Go to the other side. We're going to slime this side. And we're going to grab a portable storage interface. And we're going to grab a chest. We'll place a chest here. Portable storage interface. And now, if we go ahead and activate this guy, we'll play it safe. Let's go ahead and turn this radial chassis down to be 3. Yes, 3. So that it's now selecting all of our blocks. And we'll also hold left control and scroll this down to be 1. So that it is only selecting our blocks here, just in the off chance it does go ahead and kick into anything. One other thing that we totally forgot to do is we need to place a lever onto this encased fan and activate it, and then right click on the mechanical bearing if it didn't already start moving. Now that we've done that, we're going to grab our sugarcane, and we can actually start placing our sugarcane down. So as it grows, it will go ahead and harvest it. Something you want to make sure if you're building your own sugarcane farm is make sure that it's harvesting at the second level of sugarcane. If you do it at the first, it'll just remove all of the sugarcane and it won't start actually harvesting it correctly. So I figured while we're over here, we might as well go ahead and power our sugarcane farm. So what we're going to do is we're just going to set up a water wheel to power the conveyor belt and power the millstone, and it'll eventually start powering a couple things over in that area. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our millstone, and we're going to go directly out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks. And on the 7th block, that's where our water wheel is going to be facing. You can make this closer or farther. It's totally up to you. But we're going to place our water wheel down, make sure that he's facing clockwise. We're going to grab a water bucket and place it right on top. So our water wheel is now activated. We're going to grab our shaft and we're going to place down 3, 4, 5, just like so. Grab a vertical gearbox if I can find it in my inventory. Place him down, so now the belt's activated, and then don't forget to grab a small cogwheel and place him onto the millstone so that we also have our millstone activated. So now, once our sugarcane kit's placed into the portable storage interface, it goes through the chute, gets grinded into sugar, and then will be outputted onto the andesite funnel. So something that I quickly want to go over is I actually got the cogwheel amount incorrectly. So I have added 3 cogwheels. There should have been a notification on the screen in the beginning of this video just to correct that. But we'll go ahead and place those down now just so I don't forget about that. So as we're over here, this is where our coal chest is, where we'll place our coal in. We have our mechanical belt, and when we need to power in the future, what we need to do is break 3 blocks, just like so. And we're going to go ahead and place our cogwheels off of that belt right over there. The power source will come into play a little towards the end of this video, but I figured it was worth mentioning that we're going to place down those 3 there. And we might as well also do one other little trick where we're going to grab a shaft. We're going to place it here. Remember, this is the sugarcane belt. So this is 2 blocks away from the basin. We're going to go ahead and place a shaft off of him. grab a vertical gearbox, or excuse me, a regular gearbox, just like so. Grab a 2 more cogwheels. We're going to place one here and place one here, and we'll place a shaft here. So now what that has done is it's pulled the power from the sugarcane belt. It has gone into this gearbox, and it's now powering our deployer and powering our cocoa bean farm, so the cocoa beans can now be placed into the basin. All right, so now that we've done that, we might as well start working on our third ingredient that we need, because we now have cocoa beans, we have sugar that will slowly start generating in a few moments, and now we need to work on our milk. So what we got to do is we're going to grab a mechanical pump, and we're going to place him onto our basin right here, if I can place him correctly. And we want to place him so that the arrow is facing towards this basin. So we're kind of doing this backwards, but this theoretically will have a milk source. It's going to get pumped into the basin. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab an item drain. We're going to place him right here. So now the item drain will collect the liquids. It goes to the pump. And theoretically, we're going to have buckets placing the milk into here. So what we're going to do is we need an output for these buckets. So we're going to place down 2 shafts like so. Grab a belt and connect these guys. And then we're going to grab our shafts over here. Place down 1, 2 spaces, 1. Grab a belt. Connect these guys. So now our milk buckets will come in. They'll go into the item drain, and they will get outputted. So our next step is going to be a little bit weird, because what we're going to do is we need to have an area where it's going to pull milk from a cow, and then the buckets are going to go back into where it's pulling from. So what we're going to do is build this a little bit backwards, where we're going to grab a chute, if I can find it. Place down 1 chute. Place down a chest. Place down 1 more chute. Or excuse me, not 1 more chute. I almost did it wrong. Grab a smart chute, so one of the new blocks. Grab a deployer, if I can find that in our inventory as well. There we go. Grab our deployer. Place him and then rotate him so that he is facing away from the belt that's over here, and make sure that the gear shaft is out on the side. And then we're going to grab 1 more chute and place that on top just like so. Also, basically what we're going to have to do over here, if I climb all the way up, is in here we're going to have to place our cow. Now, I'm going to have a cow spawn egg that I can just go ahead and place the cow into here. For you, if you're doing it in survival world, just simply place a cow up into this area and just have them trapped into this little frame that we have built. So one quick thing that we're going to need to do is we now have our cow up here, but we also want to grab an empty bucket that we have and right click on this cow so that we have milk in there. We're also going to look at our smart chute, and we're now going to place that as our filter so that regular buckets are going to get placed into the deployer. The deployer will activate on the cow, and then once it has milk, it will go into our little chest right here, which is kind of like a little buffer, and then it will fall through the chute and get outputted across these belts into the item drain and continue to go in this direction. So now that we're in this direction, we have to do something else. So we're going to place a vertical gearbox diagonal down. We're going to grab an encased fan, if I can find it in my inventory, just like so. Place him so that he is facing upwards. And then we're going to grab our chutes, and we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like so. So we're in line with the other chute. We're going to grab a shaft, place him so that it is facing in this direction, just like that. We'll hop down, go to the other side, and place down a shaft right here, just like so. We'll grab our belt, and now we just got to go ahead and connect this guy, which I probably should have did on the other side, but we'll connect him just like so. So now what we have done here, if I go ahead and right click on these chutes, is that we have our milk buckets go down once they have milk in it, fall into the item drain, go into this belt, go all the way up, and then basically in a complete circular rotation. One thing that we do have to do though is we need to grab an andesite funnel, and we need to place it onto this chute so that the buckets actually go into this chute and continue to output upwards. All right, so we have this section now all built. Now, before we power this side, I want to do a little bit of outputting, because theoretically we're going to have our milk going from this direction, going to here. You can see we already have sugar and we have cocoa beans in here. So now we need a way of outputting our chocolate. So we're going to grab a smart fluid pipe. We're going to go ahead and place him. And then on our smart fluid pipe, we're going to eventually want it to be a chocolate bucket filter. Now, if you're in survival mode, you're not going to have a chocolate bucket yet because you haven't made chocolate at this point. So what you could do is you could just wait until this basin actually has chocolate in it. Once it's all powered up, simply right click it on a bucket and then set it as the filter and you'll be good to go. But what we're going to do is once we have these smart fluid pipes is we're also going to grab a mechanical pump, place him like so, make sure the arrow is facing away, and then just grab 3 fluid tanks and place them like so. You could probably get away without 3 fluid tanks, but I'm doing this again as a buffer. If you have this machine going for a long amount of time, there's a chance that you'll have more chocolate than berries. So this is a little bit more of a buffer. So we'll just place down 3 just like so. And then before we continue to the next steps, let's work on powering some things up. All right, so to start off, I'm over on our milk side over here, and you can see we have our item drain right here. And if we go 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks, 5 blocks, and then out to the side 5 blocks, or out to the side 1 more block, I mean, we're going to place down our rotational speed controller. Now, if you have just got started with this new update, there's a whole new look to this rotational speed controller. It's the same exact functionality, just looks different. So kind of keep that in mind. But we're going to place him so that the shaft is facing out towards the milk machine. We're going to set this to 32, just like that. And we're going to also grab a large cogwheel, if I can go ahead and find it. Place that on top. You'll see it'll actually connect into the large cogwheel. Now we'll go over and hop up so we can build our water wheels. So we're going to go ahead and grab 3. Place them so that they're all facing clockwise, just like so. And now we're going to grab our water sources and place them just like this. Place 1, 2, and place 3. So now we have our output of our water wheels going into our rotational speed controller. And what we have to do now is we're going to place down a shaft, place down a second shaft, place down a gearbox, if I can find them. Place down 1. We're going to grab a set of cogwheels, place down 1, 2, 3. Go down 1 block, 1, 2, 3. And what this has done is it's now activated our mechanical belt here, activated our chutes here. So now we just have to activate the other side because we don't have our deployer up and running and we don't have our mechanical belts up and running. So what we're going to do, grab 1 shaft, 2 shafts, grab a vertical gearbox like so. We're going to climb on up and we're going to place down 1, 2, 3 shafts, grab a vertical gearbox, place it down so that it is facing the correct direction, just like this, or no, not like that. Place it down so that it's facing towards this deployer. And we're going to grab a cogwheel here. Go 1, 2, 3. This has now activated this mechanical belt. It's activated this deployer. So the last thing that we need to do for this section is we need to grab our milk buckets, which you should have 4 on you, 4 empty ones. So you're going to throw down 1, throw down 2, throw down 3, and then throw down your 4th one as well. And you could put extra buckets if you'd like, but basically the buckets are going to go up, go around, get turned into a milk bucket, go down here, and drain into this item drain. So now we have to power our other side, and this is going to be pretty simple. So the first thing we're going to do is I accidentally converted one into a regular gearbox, so we're going to take a vertical gearbox, place it, if I can place it correctly. There we go. Make sure that it's facing towards the milk section. And then we have our cogwheels down here. We have a power source here. So all we're going to do is take a cogwheel and go 1, 2, 3, just like so. Place another one on top. So now that we have activated our milk to actually pump our milk into the basin, we've activated our mixer. So we have a couple other things that we now need to do. We're going to go over here and place off of this belt 1, 2 cogwheels, and now we have this pump activated. So now we have everything up and running. The last thing that we need to do is wait for this thing to basically make chocolate, and then it will actually output our chocolate right into our fluid tank. So if you're like me, you probably realize that we have actually done something wrong. So we have all of our ingredients going into our mechanical mixer here, but it's not mixing. And that's because of 2 reasons. One is that we have our mechanical belt here going in the entirely wrong direction. So what we're going to do is break this last cogwheel like so. We might as well just break it with our wrench. Place down a gearbox so that it is going in the correct direction. And I've also not placed any kind of coal or wood or anything in that chest. So let's grab our coal. Let's throw it into this chest. And now it will start outputting into our deployer. Our deployer should light our blaze burner. And now it will go ahead and turn into chocolate. I should have fixed all of that in editing. I don't know why I just decided to place cogwheels, but there you go. we now have chocolate outputting into our fluid tank. So our next, the next thing we need to do is actually make our sweet berry farm. All right, so our next step, what we're going to do is we're going to grab a spout, we're going to grab a mechanical pump, and we're going to place a mechanical pump at the very top of this fluid tank. We're then going to place a spout, and once this is powered, it'll pull the chocolate into the spout. And what we need to do is place down a depot. We're placing down the depot with 1 block in between the spout and the depot. And once we do that, we can also power up this little area. So we're going to place a gearbox against the gearbox that we had underneath our encased fan. We're going to go ahead and place down 1 cogwheel, 2, 3, and then 4. That will power our pump to actually start pumping the liquid into the spout. And then on top of that, we can place down 2 more cogwheels towards the left of this. This is just planning for something we're about to build in a second. So what we've done here is we now have our chocolate that will be pumped into our spout, which, speaking of which, we have facing the wrong direction. So make sure that it's facing the arrow towards this spout. So now we just need our berries to be placed on this depot. So let's go ahead and do that by going 1, 2, 3 blocks out. So we're going to go ahead and place down a shaft off of this cogwheel, place another shaft, if I can place it correctly, like so. Grab a mechanical belt, connect this guy. We're going to grab an andesite funnel and place him onto that depot. We're going to grab a chute and place it on top of the belt here. We'll make it transparent just for debug purposes. Grab a portable storage interface and place him like this. We're going to go 1 block out, 2 blocks out, and then this is where we're going to actually design our machine. So I've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in here is where we're going to design. So you can see that we've dug 3 blocks deep. So we're going to grab a magma block, place him down there, grab an encased fan and place him there. We're also going to quickly break 2 blocks of dirt and grab a lever, snap it onto our encased fan, and then replace that block of dirt. Grab our mechanical bearing and place him on top, if we can place him correctly. Place him so the sticky side is upwards. Grab our radial chassis and place him down. Grab linear chassis. Whoops, we didn't actually glue this guy, so let's grab a slime ball, place down him. 1, 2, 3. Slime ball 3 on this side. Grab our harvesters and place down our harvesters. Go to the other side. We're going to slime ball 1, 2, 3. Grab a chest, place that in the middle. We'll grab a portable storage interface and place it to the outside. And if we've done this all correctly, if I go ahead, just break this, or let's break this block for now. Or actually, I've already forgot the 1 step. We're going to look at this radial chassis, set this to 3. Look at these guys, left control, set them to 1. We'll go ahead and activate this bearing, and we should now have our guy turning around. We can also place our dirt down like so, and we now just have to place our sweet berries as well on the ground. So we'll go ahead and place them just like this. It's okay that it's going under our cocoa bean farm. This is just saving some space for us. But once these sweet berries grow, they'll actually start outputting into our portable storage interface. So we'll just wait to place that guy. Now you can see our sweet berries, once they are activated, will go into our portable storage interface, down into our chute, get dropped onto the mechanical belt, get placed in the andesite funnel onto the depot, and then the chocolate is going to be shot onto them. One thing that we've actually run into that's a minor issue is that we need to output our berries, but we're also going to need to set a filter so that it doesn't just output regular berries, it outputs the chocolate glazed berries. So we've placed down 2 shafts, placed down a belt. We're going to grab our andesite and our brass funnel, place our andesite funnel on a chest, grab a brass funnel, and place it onto this depot, and we need to set the filter to be a chocolate glazed berry. Also, don't be like me, don't scroll wheel. You don't want to set it so it only outputs X amount of items. So set it to be a chocolate glazed berry, and again, just like the chocolate, if you don't have this already, just go ahead and wait until a berry gets placed onto here. Don't set a funnel on it just yet. Once it turns into a chocolate berry, you can then just go ahead and change it. So now that we've done that, we just have to set up a power source. So we'll go ahead and place down a gearbox just like so. Grab our cogwheel, place that there. So now that our mechanical belts are activated, we should be good to go. So now we just have to wait for some berries to harvest. So I want to point out, I just switched to creative mode. You can see our berries are being harvested, they're being shot with chocolate, and they're now going into this chest. I want to point out, because this is something that I thought I screwed up this whole recording and I was a little freaked out. You can see that berries are growing onto these bushes, but it's not actually harvesting it. And that's weird because in regular Minecraft, you could just right click and pick up the berry. But you could see, if we're using the one probe, that we actually need these guys to be at fully grown before they'll actually harvest from the harvester. Just keep that in mind. If you're running into any issues, just give it a moment, let it grow to be fully grown, and then it will actually be outputted, shot with chocolate, and be outputted into this chest. But anyways, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Apologize for the screw up about halfway through this video with the whole powering that single belt, but that shouldn't have been too much of an issue after I edit all of this. But yeah, I want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, definitely feel free to like, definitely feel free to subscribe, as I am going to be doing a ton of work in this new Create Mod version. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys all in the next one.